what was your day one like when you decided that it's going to be mediation, or when, like day one when it clicked that, oh, this is what I like?
Okay, before I get there, I just briefly want to explain a little bit about my professional background. So I've always been a litigating lawyer, and I still continue to be so, right? And I've been doing it for 30 odd years now, and enjoyed it, still enjoying it. I did not know till 10 years back what mediation was. Now it is thanks to my mentor in mediation, Lala Olapalli. So I happened to meet her one day, just and so she started talking to me about mediation. So I said, "What is this?" So she explained the process, and though I was initially very skeptical about it, she said, "Think about it, and why don't you sort of apply to become a mediator in the court mediation center?" So again, I was very skeptical about the whole thing anyway, because what she told me about mediation, how it works, and all that. So I sat and thought about it, and I said, okay, I don't lose anything by applying for this post of a mediator. So it took a long time, actually, in the court center to become a mediator. And then simultaneously 2015 is when I started, because I received training at camp and training at the mediation center. Now that was the turning point in my life as far as mediation is concerned. Made me realize, made me understand rather what exactly mediation was, how it worked, how it's different from the confrontational mode of dispute resolution, that is litigation, which I've always been a part of, arbitration, and how it would sort of be of great help to the disputants. So from there, picked up, read up a lot about the process, found it just really interesting, and went into this process of mediation in 2015. 2015 was when I started mediating, and somehow from that day till today, 10 years down the line, it's just been a fantastic period of learning, period of becoming a better human being, of being, getting a lot more satisfaction in this process of mediation, rather than what what do you call it, when you win a case in court and you feel very great, but that satisfaction is missing, what you get out of mediation. When you see whether it's corporate or whether it is personal,
Mm.
the relief and the happiness you see in the disputants when a dispute closes once and for all is what made me realize that yes, this is for me definitely. And so since then, been a passionate and a very big supporter of the process. As I think I just reiterate that when you're in mediation as a mediator, it's you learn so many new skills. You learn to become a better listener. You actually which is, very different from when you are a counsel in a litigation where your main work is to argue and win a case for a client. Here, I'll come to a role of a counsel in mediation because it's very relevant to the question you asked. So, as a mediator, you learn to listen, you learn not to judge the people, the parties who are in front of you. You learn to empathize. You learn how not to, jump to conclusions. And as the process goes on, I feel what's extremely fulfilling is the fact that you are able to make people understand as to why resolving their disputes in mediation in the long run is so much better for them. Because whatever decision as to how a dispute should end is in their hands. They don't leave it to a third party who's a total outsider to the dispute, say a judge or an arbitrator. Here it is their problem. They know about it. They are in the situation. Who better than them to solve it with a little bit of guidance from outside? So when you realize that people are actually making an attempt not to put the other person down, to understand the other side, to sort of want to bring closure to whatever issue is before them, so that it's not only the issue before them, it's a lot of, being able to get out of stressful situations, get peace into their life. That's extremely important. I mean, as a mediator, you feel very, very good in being able to help people do all this. And at the same time, as I said, you use all these principles in your daily life too. Whenever you are in a bad situation, you sort of learn how to listen to the other person. And see, as human beings, it's very, very, very easy to be judgmental, having a lot of biases. You learn how to, at least to some extent, control them. And you also learn, another great learning for me is introspect. Introspect as a mediator, as a human. Where did I go wrong?
Mm.
And what could I do to improve myself in a similar situation in the future?
Is there one memory that you cherish from your entire mediation journey until now?
There are a couple of them. One is in a commercial mediation, where it was between a vendor of some sports equipment, which was a very big organization, to a franchisee of theirs. The company had filed a suit against the franchisee for recovery. This was during COVID. They decided, okay, let's try mediation, and they'd come in for mediation. So at the outset, when we started, somehow the franchisee was very belligerent and kept telling that you gave me substandard goods, and why should I pay you? And it went on like this. However, later, the same franchisee in a private session told me, frankly speaking, I know I owe them money. I don't have the money. And I am willing to pay them if they reduce the amount. If they let go of the interest, I'll be the most relieved person. I've been a franchisee of theirs for so long. I want them to retain me as a franchisee. So ultimately, this all ended very well. Initially, the company was saying, why should we? He's admitted his liability, we'll get an order in court. So, with a little bit of reality testing for them and all that, they ultimately settled. And what made me really happy was the franchisees council uh, called me up one fine day and said, he would have liked to personally talk to you, but he's passed on a message that you saved not only his life, his family's life, and you got back his business back to normalcy. That he will never forget this whole mediation and this whole experience in his life. So that was something which made me feel really very nice. And another experience was mediation in a matrimonial matter where the husband and wife, though they'd agreed on divorce, they were fighting about the amount the husband was giving for the son's higher education. And to begin with, they were really I mean, they were at loggerheads about everything and anything. And the wife kept saying that I don't want any money for myself. I only want it for the son who is finishing, who needs to join a university in the US or UK or wherever in a couple of months. If this doesn't get over, he loses an whole year and it spoils his life. And unfortunately for her, she had a counsel who kept telling her that don't go in for this mediation and all. I'll take you to court. I'll get you a whole lot of much more than what you're getting here. So I just asked her to ask that counsel one question: when is he going to get you the money, and how much is he going to get? So for both, the counsel said, how would I know? It all depends on how fast the court goes. So when she was asked that, will it serve your purpose? She said no. Ultimately, they settled. And again, I felt extremely happy when she came back, when she personally rang me up one day and said, you know what, my son and I really want to thank you. He's got admission in a good college in the US and he's already left for the US. And, I feel that this mediation has put his life back on track. And I'm so, so thankful to you that you made me realize that getting more money at the end of the day, God knows when, would not serve the purpose of my son being able to fulfill his dreams in going abroad and studying. So these are two disputes which always stay in my mind because people came back and expressed their happiness about having taken part in a mediation.
So, Rukmini, in this journey of mediation, where we have good feelings around the happening of mediations, have there been situations where it didn't go like we thought as mediators, or it didn't just go as it was hoped for? So, what I'm aiming to hear is, do mediations also fail? Is there a fail moment in mediation?
You know what? I never say a mediation failed. I always say it did not settle, and there is still scope for the parties, even if they've chosen some other mode of dispute, say gone to court, to come back for mediation. Because as you're aware, Rami, once you come in for mediation and you go to court, doesn't stop you from coming back. I'll tell you one such case where there was this extremely big sports personality who was being sued by again a sports company for damages for having broken his contract. Now it went on for some time. It did not settle. It did not settle. They went back to court. But again, it was very heartening for me to know when after 2-3 months the sports company's uh, counsel came and told me, because of what happened in mediation, at that time we did not settle. After coming back to court after 2 months, we've decided to sort of, you know, to have a dialogue and to sort of withdraw the case and move on in life, in our respective lives. So at that point of time, it did not settle. I mean, in the beginning, when parties used to move away from a mediation and have not settled, I used to feel very flustered and disappointed that it's not happening. But over a period of time, what I realized was, if having heard so much from each other, at some point of time or the other, they are sure to um, come to terms or even come back to mediation. So, or even in court, they try to have a compromise and settle it off and finish it off.
Mm.
So there have been situations, but
Mm.
and you do then when cases do not settle, you do introspect that where did I go wrong as a mediator? Didn't I do the right thing? Did I not guide the parties well enough? Were the parties well informed? Didn't I help them negotiate? Could I have done better? These thoughts are very good because wherever you think you failed, you tend to improve on those skills.
Yeah. I have one more question. It
Yeah.
just popped. Is there any funny moment? Is there any
Any
funny
funny,
moment from any of the mediations that you remember?
funny moment? Now let me think about it. Funny, funny. Let me just try to think of funny.
We can't label what's funny, what's not. But I ask
um,
this because I have something on my mind when I say funny, and
huh,
it may not be actually be I don't know. Let me not just label it. So it was one of the online mediations in in which it was me as a mediator, and then there was this couple in their 40s now, and they had just joined the call, like 15 minutes down the call. We are somewhere there to discuss what is going to be their arrangement of living while they still took a final decision to get a formal divorce, but they had basically separated from each other. And one topic was such which triggered the emotions of both of them. Um, One spouse was okay dealing with it, and the other spouse got very annoyed and triggered in a way that started using language which could be forbidden if you're sitting with people who are not in agreement with you already. And then in like 4 or 5 minutes, and he just said, "This is, oh my God, these ladies." So this was the man who was telling, and then there was me and the other lady. Oh my God, these ladies! This is like a 9 p.m. online news channel call, like a debate call. And then and then he said like, I have to leave this. I don't want to be part of this debate. It's not
correct.
healthy for my life. And then he just like quit. He just went. He
Exited.
just went. And and then I'm like, okay, this is the other phase of online mediations. That online
That you can
mediation.
just click
Yes.
a button. Okay, when you speak about this, I had one very. I don't know whether you call it funny or what. I remember this couple. They had settled everything between them when suddenly the husband turns around and tells the wife, "Give my dog back to me." So she said, "What do you mean yours? It's mine." So he said, "I got it for you as a gift. I got him for you as a gift. I want the doggy back." So she says, "No way. I'm the one who takes care of him. I'll never. You are such a careless person. You don't know how to love human beings. How will you love a dog?" Oh my God! It became sort of went just out of hand, and so I told them, "Calm down. So he said, "I know I won't get visitation rights for this dog also if she keeps the dog. I am not." I'm not going to agree. So she said, "Yeah, you can come and visit him in the park next to the house whenever you want. I'll let him out." It went on and on. Then, believe it or not, Amy, though everything else was settled because of the pet, they did not settle. They walked off. Of course, they came back again, and by that time, they had reached some sort of an agreement regarding the pet, and that was recorded also.
Imagine if the mediator is not pet friendly. Just imagine
Ah,
how, where is this going? And then imagine the level of pet parenting, emotional understanding that a mediator should have.
should have, because if you say what nonsense are you talking? How is this dog coming in? They will just lose it. Know that what the hell do you mean by saying it's just a dog? It is our child, and I mean that's true. I fully agree. But that, I mean, I couldn't even laugh the way they were arguing. You can't, you sort of can't. You have to empathize with them. That I do understand like where you're coming from, and I really do understand. So it's so that was one funny incident that distinctly stays with me, which I can call funny.